Hey everyone, thanks for joining us for the digital download. Today we're going to be talking about keys to AI search success, Google preferred source, and some LSA updates. And I'm joined here with Jill Newton. Jill, welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Awesome. So you're going to share all the updates with us. Okay, so first let's start talking about keys to AI search success. So recently Google came out with some things that businesses should focus on to show up in these AI search results. So what can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so really the biggest thing that we want to stick with is sticking to those SEO fundamentals. So things like crawlability, mobile experience, page speed, site structure, all things that we're focusing on pretty heavily at Camp. Making sure that the structured data is increasingly important, and AI search still relies pretty heavily on some of those traditional SEO foundations.
Yep. So SEO is not going away.
Nope, not going away. Google still needs that clear signal. So things like showing your services, your service area, showing that expertise, and just overall trustworthiness on the websites.
Okay. And they mentioned one thing which is called non-commodity content.
Yeah.
Can you explain what that is?
Yeah, so commodity, think of it as like generic, a lot of repetitive stuff. Think of it as like 10 HVAC tips. And so we're moving into this non-commodity content, which is like real world experience. You're showing opinions, demonstrations, like before and after photos are going to be huge for this. And really just sharing some of that technician knowledge.
So instead of just saying like we offer tune-ups, like explain why they matter, what homeowners should watch out for, and that sort of thing.
Yeah, so some of the things that AI is going to start doing is it really summarizes all that generic information, and we want to set ourselves apart from our competitors. It can struggle to replicate that real experience that technicians see every day. Making sure that we have videos, photos to show we have the expertise is going to be huge. So businesses should start documenting those real jobs, answer common questions from customers, and really explain why.
Yeah. So showing you actually have the expertise, not just saying we're the experts.
Exactly.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Okay. So Google preferred source.
Yeah.
What is this and why does it matter? Like, why should home services companies pay attention to this?
Yeah. So Google is now allowing users to select trusted websites, but these preferred sources, they may appear in things like Google top stories, personalized search experiences from your sources, those types of things.
Yeah, nice. And so that's essentially going to be sending signals back to Google, like you said, like this is a trusted brand. This content is clearly valuable. People want to see this content. And so does that mean, is Google going to rank those higher in search results? Aside from just being a preferred source?
Correct. Yep. So they'll start to reinforce some of that audience loyalty, repeat engagement, and just overall retention. Search is becoming a lot more personalized in that front.
So this is where content on your site becomes very important.
Yep.
So tell us about like what is the most important content that you should be sure you're updating and adding?
Personalizing your content to your business, showing that you have the expertise, you're educational in the trades that you provide, using that through not only just written content, but videos, photos. That's going to become super important moving forward.
Now, can that be AI generated photos and videos, or do they need to be non-AI?
It can be AI generated, but we just need to make sure that we're focusing on the brand itself and not moving away from that.
So this is not just about rankings anymore. It's about becoming a trusted source that people want to hear from.
Correct. Yep. And we're shifting things internally too, and we're paying a lot closer attention to our content strategy because Google is clearly moving forward and towards that trusted source.
All right, so the next thing I want to talk about is LSAs are now pulling in content from websites.
Yep.
Why is this important?
It's super important because Google can start to pull things like your business descriptions, just overall service descriptions, pricing information, any special offers and discounts. A lot of customers are going to be looking for that price point and whether or not you can actually service what they need to be done.
Yeah. Okay. So then your websites are not just supporting SEO, it's actively feeding Google's advertising like ecosystem.
Correct.
So if things are not accurate and not what you want to be putting out there that on your website, that's really going to affect things.
Yeah, so we need to make sure that things are updated. I feel like everything is kind of aligning, that everything needs to be updated. We need to make sure that any outdated or old content, photos, all of that is updated. And we need to make sure that our content is of quality.
Yeah, absolutely. So you would say what are the top things businesses should focus on right now?
Strong service pages, just clear descriptions on what you can actually provide, updated offers and pricings. Something that we're doing internally here is just updating our frequently asked questions, and just making sure, again, leaning into those photos and videos as much as possible.
Yeah. Another topic we've been talking about internally is Google Maps and a decay rate.
Yes.
So can you explain what that is?
Yeah, so essentially what we're starting to see with like GBP is if you aren't an active customer within 30 days, we're going to start to see a drop in impressions. So it's super important that we are applying a lot of that freshness to your GBP, making sure that we're showing that activity, posting weekly, adding more photos, pushing reviews as much as possible.
Okay, perfect. Because that is where they're going to pull from for map pack.
Correct.
And ranking you.
Yep.
Okay.
Main source.
Main source. Okay, great. And so this is why. So what are we doing internally?
Yep. So we've started to shift away from our biweekly posting cadence on GBP. We're now posting weekly, and we're shifting how we're posting too. We're not just using some of those commodity offers. We're explaining why it's important to get your AC tuned up, what things to start to look for if you have a leak in your water heater. We're pushing photos and updating photos as much as possible while also telling the client, hey, we need to start pushing reviews as much as possible.
Yeah. And on reviews too, it's like, yes, you get the reviews, but also respond to the reviews.
Respond to the review. Yep. And shift away from trying to include like any technician names, and focus more on what the job was and the experience with that job completed.
Because I spoke with Rory last week, and it was you can get penalized now. Like you can't incentivize to get reviews now.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep. And it's hard to tell customers that, but you can control it by how you're responding, and shifting that focus more on the job that was completed.
Yeah. And also you respond to all the positive, but also it's very important to respond to the negative reviews as well.
Yep. I always when I look at reviews, some of the lower quality ones, because I feel like that tells me a lot about the company itself. Everyone can get 5-star reviews, but it's good to see what some of those lower quality reviews are.
And how the company responds to that
Correct.
too. Yeah. Yep. So I do the same thing. Yeah. Awesome. All right. So we're going to move into a little bit of rapid fire.
Okay.
What is the biggest mistake home service businesses are making right now?
Publishing that generic content. You need to show your expertise. You need to show that freshness, pulling those real world experiences and job experiences into our service pages, our FAQs, what we're posting on GBP. It's all going to be super important.
Yeah. And also as far as like photos and videos, does it have to be professional? Does it have to be super polished, or can it be from your phone?
They can be from your phone. Try to be as clear as possible. Lower quality photos aren't really going to do much. So try to take as clear photos as possible.
So you want good quality, but you don't have to hire a crew to go out and do this.
Yep. And I would recommend too, like for a lot of drain services, they aren't the prettiest experiences.
Focus on the solution.
So focus on the solution. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So we heard a lot today. What should home service companies start doing right away?
Focusing on photos, focusing on videos, really making sure that we're answering some of those customer questions, and just showing that real world job site and what that looks like.
Yeah. Nice. Show that you have the expertise in the space.
Exactly.
Yeah. Great. Okay. According to Jill, what's the future of search in one sentence?
Really building that trustworthiness, showing your expertise. This is only going to push your business further and further into the AI world, and just making sure that we are showing up for those AI systems.
Yeah. And I think a lot of businesses are overwhelmed right now. There's constant change. Like every day it feels like there's something different that you should be doing. So I think Katie said the other day, like have some grace, like just just take it all in, but realize it's impossible to do it alone. And that's why you can also trust a partner like Camp to help get you through it.
Yeah, no, it seems like each week we're getting a new update from Google, and it is super overwhelming, but it's so good that we're learning these things at Camp, and it isn't necessarily on the companies to know all this information.
Sure.
It's just to know that, hey, you're working with Camp, an agency that is learning all these things and making sure that we're applying it to all of your platforms.
Right. Yeah. Like we got you.
We got you covered. Exactly.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks, Jill, for joining us today.
Yeah.
Appreciate you being here.
Yeah, absolutely.